All right, I got another one for you guys. Going to be talking about Sweet Baby again, but more on a bigger picture on this one. Just want to talk about kind of what we're up against here and what the bigger picture in the games industry is and has been for a long time. But we're going to start out with this tweet from Mary Kenny. So no, Sweet Baby did not kill your game. Of course, they had nothing to do with the layoffs, duh. They gave notes, pitches, advice, and research. The studio made the final call on what went into the game. If you have beef, it's with us. Keep it with us. And she is right. Ultimately, the studios are the ones driving these changes. The studios and the publishing houses are driving, injecting DEI into the games that you want to play. So ultimately, she is correct on that front. So yeah, I mean, she's all proud about it, but you know that the point still stands, and it is correct that they're driving this, and they're driving this based on this infrastructure that's been set up for years now. Where these studios and these publishing houses, they get funding through larger groups, through these ESG initiatives, where they say, well, we're carbon neutral and we do this about governance and we do this about, you know, racism in gaming and sexism in gaming and transphobia and blah, blah, blah. And they put all these things down and they basically get a rating, which is their ESG score. The lower, the better. The lower is a risk factor. So lower ESG score means better chances of getting that funding. And this is ultimately because they've been pushing these larger and larger games that are more and more expensive. So they need that upfront cash, that upfront investment capital to make these massive multi-million-dollar games in the hopes of recouping that money and getting that investment back and sharing that investment, that profit with their investors. So it's like a vicious cycle. And, in recent years, that cycle has kind of lost a lot of steam. I mean, you've seen failure after failure in these initiatives that are in these games because people aren't tolerating it anymore. And that's a good thing. You know, I mean, nobody likes to be preached to. Whether that preaching is justified or not is irrelevant. Nobody likes to be preached to when they're trying to play a game and have some fun. And that's what these people fail to understand. That's what these companies fail to understand. And that's where we're kind of at right now. But speaking of these companies, I'm just going to go through the list and show you exactly what the situation is and what companies are involved and just how far-reaching this truly is. So we're just going to start at the beginning. I'm using this website, Sustainalytics. I'm going to put a link in the description so you can kind of look for your company that you're interested in finding out if they're ESG, and you can look them up right here and you can do a search. Obviously, you can see all these different companies here, like 1-800-Flowers is a medium ESG risk because they're a flower company. So, I mean, it's so ridiculous. I can't help but laugh, but let's just go into the gaming. Let's just take a few that I've picked out here and you'll see exactly what I mean. You can kind of see the titles across the top here. So let's just go through that. First up is Meta. Of course, Meta is going to be woke. They actually have a high risk ESG rating, but, it's Facebook, it's Zuckerberg, it's Meta platforms are, the pinnacle of woke, and yet they have a high ESG score, which is bad. Another one up is Microsoft. They're low score, 15.2, so they're a low risk. Now we're going to get more into the actual gaming, which is Square Enix. They've got a 19.7 low risk. Take-Two Interactive, 15.6. Roblox, 17.9. Rovio Entertainment, which is Angry Birds, 19.9. That's another low risk. Paradox Interactive, 15.5. A Nintendo Company Limited, 16.6, low risk. So that's Nintendo. That's a Japanese company. Again, with a Japanese company, Konami Group, 19.3. And a lot of people have been saying, like, oh, well, at least Japan's games are still based. Well, that's only a matter of time. Let's just go on here. NCSoft, so that's Korea, 14.3 low risk. NeoWiz, another Korean, 19.0. That's Lies of P. They made Lies of P. So another very popular game, but they are on the ESG score list with a low risk. So, it's a matter of time, at least in my opinion. Koei Tecmo, now they've been in the news a lot lately for the localization, going a little beyond localization and, doing those DEI initiative injection things with their MMOs. So Koei Tecmo, we're already starting to see it, but then again, that's another Japanese company. CD Projekt Red, or CD Projekt SA. Witcher, and Cyberpunk. So yeah, they're on the list too. 15.9 low risk. Electronic Arts, not a surprise there. 13.4 low risk. Embracer Group, kind of another not surprising thing. 15.5. I mean, Embracer Group is massive. And last is Activision Blizzard, 16.3. So you can see this is a very wide selection of companies across the world in various different sectors. I mean, everything from mobile games and freaking Roblox all the way up to Final Fantasy and Tomb Raider. Yeah. So you can see there's a wide-reaching expanse of this, and this is the mechanism by which they're injecting DEI in your games. These are the companies doing it. There's more in there, I think, but I wasn't, I wanted to pick out some of the interesting ones that I thought. But yeah, feel free to check that out. Go through this list and see what other companies are out there, gaming or not gaming. There's a lot of them in there. It's pretty revealing. But yeah, that's the situation, and these are the companies that are driving it. These are the publishers and studios that are kind of taking the reins and injecting DEI in your games and watching them basically just twist in the wind. And yeah, it's a bad situation all around. It's been going on for a while, but in my opinion, I think there's a lot of hope, because the more you see these initiatives injected in these games, the less popular they become. And it's not just us talking about it. It's everybody's talking about it. Like, oh, that was a bad game. And I don't really know why, but I just didn't enjoy, the latest Tomb Raider because it wasn't quite the same. Or I just didn't enjoy that new game from Square Enix because it wasn't quite the same as the old games from the 90s that I used to enjoy so much, or even Konami or what have you. Like Mortal Kombat 1, nobody bought it. And that's a huge franchise. That's like a normie franchise these days. And yet no one was interested. Nobody liked it. Nobody really enjoyed it. And yet they enjoyed the older ones. And that's something that we have to kind of talk about more. Like, why don't you think that you enjoyed Mortal Kombat 1, but you enjoyed, the previous Mortal Kombats? Like, what was the difference? And then, get them talking about, oh, well, the characters don't look the same or act the same, or the story isn't quite the same. It's just kind of weird. And, that's the thing. I mean, normies need to be aware of why they don't like these games anymore just as much as we do. So, and I'm saying normie like because normies wouldn't watch a video like this, but you guys do. So, yeah, it's something we have to talk about. I mean, this is an issue, and this is how we get our games back to the way they were when we enjoyed them so much. And that's kind of the overarching goal here, at least in my opinion. So that's what I got for you guys. Hope you enjoyed the vid. If you like these kind of videos, give it a like. And if you like also like these kind of videos, subscribe to the channel, and I will talk to you guys later.